prosperity and abundance to everyone tuning in. I am Mrs.Melanin Reigns, and it is an honor and a pleasure to be back with you all. So today I want to talk about something that is very heavy on my spirit and has been for a long time now. I do want to reiterate that here I am not here to push fear to you. I am literally sharing my own experiences, articulating downloads that I receive from the Most High, and just sharing things that I believe people should be cautious of. We don't have to live in fear. Once you are in tune with the divine, you know that you will be divinely protected and divinely led. The purpose of a lot of my content will be to highlight the spiritual warfare that is going on so that we are able to take the precautions needed and so that we can brainstorm different solutions and things of that nature. I have no intentions to bash or put down any groups of people, despite how I may articulate myself in the moment. So I just want to go ahead and put that out there because we do need to hold ourselves accountable for the things that we put out into the world. And it is always on my spirit. What I'm putting out, even when I put out content about narcissism, I'm thinking about, okay, how much of this do people really need to see coming across their timeline? And in addition to that, I do realize how important it is and how it can save a life when you confirm some of those things that people are going through. So what's been heavy on my spirit after that long-winded introduction and disclaimer is the warfare that women and girls and women and children in general, Black women and children more specifically, are going through. This is an intense climate that we are enduring right now. If you look at the news stations, more than ever before, you're seeing a lot of pregnant women being exterminated. You're seeing a lot of pregnant wives being exterminated. You're seeing a lot of women and children being exterminated. You're seeing an increase when it comes to media propaganda against mothers, single motherhood, but not just single motherhood. There's been a devaluing of women in motherhood in general, whether wed or single. And these things are really playing out in domestic violence cases. These things are really playing out again when it comes to the propaganda, which it translates to spiritual and psychological warfare. It is a lot greater than just words, especially when you have a bigger platform and especially as your platform begins to grow. As I said before, we do have to hold ourselves accountable for what we put out there. We also have to be mindful. When you're seeing things like this, try your best to clean up your online presence. Try your best to clean up your algorithm to the best of your ability. Try your best to monitor what you're consuming. And this is advice for all of us because the times we are in, again, are extremely detrimental to all of us, men, women, and children, but most especially women and children have a different vulnerable position. And I highlight Black women and children specifically because Black women being the mothers of civilization, there's always something being symbolized there. There is always a larger scale of symbolism. And you can see the trickle down of impact from things and experiments that were launched on the Black collective. It is now happening to other groups of people in different ways. And you see all this pushback with activism because of that. Femicide is rising. Ladies, sisters, women, you have to be mindful. We have to be mindful. One of the things that I'm seeing, I seen a post today in a women's group that I'm in, and her question was, her situation was that her best friend pretty much got upset with her because she allowed her daughter to meet someone she's dating, child, for a play date. Now, despite the fact, and please excuse all the background noise, but despite the fact that the children may not know they are dating, there may be nothing going on. It could just be a focused play date. Something as simple as that, and this is just my advice on the matter, is a no for me. If you're a single mother and you see all the online rhetoric, you see domestic violence cases arising, you see past partners, present partners attacking women, you see rhetoric specified to single motherhood, you see not just rhetoric demeaning and belittling, but also targeting single mothers for specific reasons. I don't know what I was about to say. Specific reasons. You need to be mindful, and you always have to be on guard. There's no reason your children should be meeting anybody that you're dating until there is a ring on your finger. And I know so many women say, well, how do I know how they will be with my children? Well, it's most especially when you're dating a guy with children. Meet his children. Why not meet his children? If you are pure-hearted and you have good intentions, there's no harm in meeting his children, but you absolutely have to rule it out for yours. This is not to say that everybody you meet is going to be dangerous, but this is a precaution you have to take every time, because you have no chance and you have no space to gamble. And this is not to say that this will cover everything, but these are the precautions and the accountability we must take as women to protect not only ourselves, but one another and our children. It's a big no-no when it comes to someone meeting your child. It doesn't matter even if it is a play date with their child. They don't need to have any physical interaction with your child. They don't need to know too many details. You know why? Because most of these situations will not turn out to marriage. They will not become a solid foundation. They will just be temporary. They may last for a year or two, but that does not mean that your child needs to meet them. You do have to go out of your way. You do have to be discreet. You do have to make proper plans, because your child cannot be put in that situations. Children cannot be left with boyfriends. Children cannot be left with stepfathers. Children cannot be left with anybody, not even girlfriends, friends who you know are careless. Our children cannot be left in the hands of people who are careless. And again, it will not stop everything. But if we are intentional, and when children and when young women, come into motherhood, they need to know this. Casual sex is a common thing now. Whether we agree with it or not, it just is what it is. When our young women are coming into motherhood, they need to know this. When young wedded couples are coming into motherhood, they need to know the importance of protecting the child. But back to femicide. Our children, our lives and the lives of our children are under attack psychologically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Whether or not this is a new phenomenon, we know it's not a new phenomenon, but there is a specific type of energy releasing, and it seems to just keep going lower and lower. And we need to be mindful. We need to be mindful that you do not have time. You do not have red flags to spare. You have to identify situations for what they truly are and not romanticize them for what you want them to be. Because again, whether you are just a single woman by yourself, no matter your age, no matter your circumstance, no matter your income, this is a reality, most specifically for Black women. It is now time to be extremely cautious. Not living in fear, but preparing our children and ourselves on every level. There is an attack that is increasing. And we do not have time to be naive. We do not have time to idealize. We do not have time to say not all. Every until proven otherwise. Take the proper precautions. There is a deep spirit What you have to realize about the society that we live in, the different systems that people come in, of every culture, every ethnicity, all around the world, this is happening. I hear people say Western culture. We say this group of people, that group of people. I see a pattern all over the world. And the pattern that I see the most is the harm of women and children, whether it be deadly or not. On every level, we have to prepare ourselves and equip ourselves. And now, this message is getting lengthy, but this is something we are going to continue to discuss. Because women shy away from conversations that require us to just do solutions. We can't control who they are. But if you resonate with me, sometimes we just don't know. There was a lot of times I just didn't know. So it's important for us to share this information. It's important for us to protect ourselves. And it is important for us to still, in the midst of that, not hold and harden our hearts. We don't have to hold and harden our hearts in fear, because that keeps us away from alignment with the divine. But what we do have to be is realistic and look around, look at the stats, look at the outcome. Think about 10 women you love. You know one of them have been sexually abused. You know one of them have been brutally beaten, and you may even know one who have been taken out of here. It is increasing, and it is time. Divine integrity for us is more important than ever, because we need that which is beyond us. We need to be in tune and in line with the divine, because, like I said, it is a societal thing. Different structures that groom people to be vessels for unclean spirits, and it's roaming, and we all see it. It's not a coincidence. We can't keep acting like we're surprised. So we see a theme. I know we all see a theme. We're learning a lot. And another thing with women is, it's not to try to change them. We have to know that there are men who get it, and they're aligned with it already, genuinely and authentically. And there are other ones who are coming and will learn. But for us, what our primary duty is to take care of us first and let the all else work itself out. We have to take care of us first and let the rest work itself out. The children, most especially, if you chose to bring a child in this world, and it shouldn't even take for that. All my life, as I've known myself to be, even if it was 2 years older than a child, I've always felt naturally inclined to protect, naturally inclined to nurture and nourish. So again, this is for those who are in alignment with me. Motherhood also needs help. Women need other women they can trust. Women need other women who are diligent. Women need other women who are in tune with their femininity for them and for their children and for the community first. That alignment with the divine is for your benefit, for your community, for your children first. It benefits all around the board. And we need women to hold fast to divine integrity, because the climate we're in right now calls for it. So all we have on this board is us, and that's the only piece that we can control. Remember that. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's already super lengthy. I am Mrs.Melanin Reigns, and I hope this message is received in love.